Okay, let's unpack this. You've sent over an incredible culinary blueprint.
It's a lot.
It is. This isn't just, a list of recipes. It feels more like the definitive guide to mastering the holiday table. It's a compendium covering 50 distinct dishes.
50, yeah. From the big centerpiece roast all the way to these really intricate multi-day desserts.
So our mission today, it feels critical. We have to filter this sheer volume of information into something you can actually use. High impact, actionable knowledge.
Absolutely. We're looking for the surprising techniques, the essential flavor pairings, and also the clear philosophical splits. Where does the cook choose convenience and where do they just commit to pure over-the-top indulgence?
Exactly. This deep dive is about understanding the strategy of the meal, not just the list of ingredients.
Right.
So we're moving logically. We'll start where every big holiday meal begins, the main event. Then we'll tackle that dizzying array of sides, the real heroes, I think. And finally, we'll get into the complex, time-intensive world of desserts.
Sounds like a plan. Let's start with the turkey.
Let's. We're starting with 5 vastly different ways to roast the perfect turkey.
Okay, so the turkey section right away gives the cook a clear strategic choice. They don't just offer one method. They're presenting 5 distinct flavor goals, and they range from, maximum efficiency to maximum aromatic depth. #A, roasting and flavor profiles for whole turkey.
We'll start with the simplest approach, the home-style turkey. This one seems to prioritize internal moisture above all else. It's about steaming and a simple, quick, savory flavor.
That's exactly right. And the technique here is fascinatingly low-tech, but really high impact. It calls for using warm water mixed with chicken cubes and dried parsley.
And you just pour that mixture right over the bird.
Right over the bird, and then you cover it completely with aluminum foil for the bake at 350 degrees.
The genius of that is the steam bath it creates, isn't it?
Right.
The initial slather of butter and minced onion gives you the richness, but that warm water chicken cube liquid, it effectively self-bastes the bird in this accelerated savory broth.
From the outside in.
All right, it keeps the breast meat from drying out. The 180-degree internal temp check is pretty standard, but that initial covered steam phase, that's the moisture insurance policy.
It really is. Now, if we move away from maximizing internal moisture with steam and shift the focus to external aromatic infusion, we find the roast turkey with herbal rub. The philosophy changes entirely here.
And here's where the technique gets a bit more nuanced. This uses an oil-based rub vegetable or canola oil mixed with a really classic trio of dried herbs, rosemary, tarragon, and thyme, plus salt and pepper.
And that oil is key. It's the vehicle that transfers the herb flavor directly onto the skin and helps it adhere.
And the cavity filler changes too. It's not just onion anymore, it's lemon and onion, which must add a nice aromatic brightness to the pan drippings.
And needed brightness, yeah. And the roasting process is also more controlled. It calls for a loose foil tent for the first 2.5 hours.
So it's trapping some steam, but it's still allowing for airflow.
Precisely. And then it's followed by an hour uncovered. That time split is absolutely essential for getting both tenderness and that beautiful, crisp, golden brown skin. It's a balance between moisture control and that textural finish.
Okay, so the next step up in complexity, and I think elegance, is the herb-roasted turkey with citrus glaze. This is where we start seeing some real fine dining techniques.
We do. The use of fresh sage, thyme, and marjoram applied under the skin is the crucial detail here.
That's the gold standard, isn't it, for getting flavor right into the meat?
It is. By placing the fresh herbs right under the skin, they get rendered by the melting fat, and they release their essential oils directly onto the breast meat. It completely bypasses the skin barrier.
And the glaze. It sounds like pure sophistication. A blend of brown sugar, dry sherry, and lemon juice.
And it's only applied for the final 30 minutes of that 3-hour bake at a slightly lower 325-degree temperature.
What does the dry sherry do there?
Well, the dry sherry is the star. It adds this essential layer of nuttiness and acid complexity that just elevates it far beyond a simple sugary glaze.
You have to be careful, though, right?
You do. The cook is relying on that lemon juice to cut the sweetness of the brown sugar and the sherry. If that lemon is too weak, the glaze risks becoming, cloyingly sweet. But applying it only in those final moments guarantees this intense caramelization without burning.
And the inclusion of specific garnishes, like lemon rind roses, that tells you everything you need to know about the goal of this recipe. Presentation is paramount. This bird is meant to be shown off.
Absolutely. Then the focus pivots to a completely different flavor category, maple. And we see two distinct strategic applications of this sweet and savory pairing.
First, the more straightforward one, maple roast turkey and gravy. This uses apple cider, maple syrup, lemon rind, fresh thyme, and marjoram, all mixed simply with butter to create a rubbing paste.
Right, it's rubbed on, baked for 30 minutes, uncovered, and then covered for the remaining 3 hours.
What's the strength of this approach?
The strength here is the use of apple cider as part of the rub. That cider contains sugars and acids that will break down and contribute flavor during that initial uncovered roast, and it really helps in developing the fond.
The fond. Those are the caramelized bits at the bottom of the pan, right? The key to a good gravy.
The absolute key. But its sibling recipe, the roast turkey with maple herb butter, is strategically much more intense.
So.
It demands concentration of flavor right from the start. It requires you to make a reduced cider and maple syrup mixture, simmering it down to just half a cup.
Wow, okay. So you're really intensifying those flavors.
Dramatically. And this highly concentrated syrup is then mixed into softened butter with the herbs, and this maple herb butter is used for continuous, frequent basting. It guarantees a far deeper, stickier, and more intensely flavored crust than the simple rub of the previous recipe.
And it starts at a higher temperature, 375, to set that crust quickly before reducing the heat.
Exactly. Flavor building from step one.
Finally, we have the most traditional, deep savory approach. The pork-basted roast turkey with gravy. This feels like a technique that's been handed down through generations.
It really does. The use of tawny pork combined with chicken stock as the basting liquid is a classic European technique.
And tawny port is key, I imagine.
It is. Being fortified and barrel-aged, it has these deep, raisin-like, nutty flavors and a high sugar content. When that's reduced and applied to the turkey, the residual sugar caramelizes the skin beautifully, giving you that essential mahogany color and incredible depth of flavor.
And the technique is really controlled. A cheesecloth is used initially, soaked in the basting liquid and draped over the berg.
Which is brilliant. It prevents the high sugar content from burning while allowing for that slow release of aromatics into the fat.
And for the gravy, this recipe sets the foundation perfectly. After the first hour, you add apples, carrots, and onions directly to the roasting dish.
And they'll brown right alongside the bird, caramelizing their own sugars and heavily flavoring the resulting pan drippings. It creates a fundamentally richer and more aromatic gravy base. It's just flavor planning at its absolute finest. #, bee gravies, sauces, and the crucial cranberry.
So now that we have those perfect pan drippings, the question turns to gravy. And the sources here present two fundamentally opposing culinary philosophies. You've got the rich, traditional route versus the speedy, fat-conscious, modern take.
It's a real fork in the road. The basic turkey gravy is a commitment. It requires hours of preliminary work, usually started the day before, by simmering the giblets, the neck, the heart, the gizzard, with the liver and vegetables to create this foundational, intensely flavored broth.
That giblet broth really is the secret to true traditional richness, isn't it?
It is. And once it's strained, the next step is the technically challenging part, the roux. Flour is cooked with the poultry drippings until it achieves a light brown color.
And that light brown color is key.
It's everything. A roux, which is just equal parts fat and flour cooked together, it's a thickener. But as the flour cooks, the starch molecules break down and, crucially, the flour begins to caramelize.
Which gives it that nutty, toasted flavor.
A flavor that our flour paste or, cornstarch could never replicate. It's a flavor trade-off for time.
Okay, so contrast that deep, time-consuming effort with the guilt-free turkey gravy. This is a masterclass in modern efficiency.
It is. This lighter version completely sidesteps the roux. It relies entirely on turkey broth, pan drippings, only after the fats have been rigorously removed, and a cornstarch slurry.
For anyone who doesn't know, cornstarch slurry is just cornstarch mixed with cold water, right?
That's it. It's a rapid, powerful thickener. And while it achieves the desired gravy consistency almost instantly and with zero added fat, it completely bypasses that nutty, caramelized depth that only a properly browned flour roux can provide.
So it's a clear philosophical split. Speed and health over depth of flavor.
Absolutely. Now, shifting focus, we move to the indispensable companion, cranberry. And the source material here offers 3 distinct interpretations, showing that even this classic side is open to vast flavor variations.
Let's start with the one that really breaks the rules, cranberry chutney. Yeah. This is a spiced, savory departure from the sweet jelly tradition.
It is. It uses fresh cranberries, balsamic vinegar, white sugar, and 4 intense ground spices: nutmeg, cinnamon, cumin, and the surprising kick of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne.
Yeah. Simmered for 20 to 25 minutes until it's thick. The balsamic vinegar provides this acidic lift and complexity that, combined with the cayenne, pushes this firmly into the savory condiment space. It's designed to complement the heavy turkey, not just sweeten it.
Then you have the brighter, crisper profile of the cranberry relish. This one focuses heavily on fresh citrus and aromatic intensity.
It does. It features fresh orange, both julienne zest and the juice lemon juice, and julienne fresh ginger, along with some white pepper.
And the technique here is notable. The sugar is caramelized first before adding the liquids and cranberries.
Which is a pro move. Caramelizing the sugar adds this layer of depth and a slight bitterness, and that prevents the relish from tasting just one-dimensionally sweet.
And finally, the ultimate blend of efficiency and flavor, the cranberry gravy. This uses the ultimate shortcut canned cranberry jelly, but integrates it so cleverly into a classic gravy structure.
They incorporate the jelly, grated lemon rind, and lemon juice into turkey drippings thickened with chicken broth and flour. But the standout technical note in this entire section for me is the method for degreasing the drippings.
Oh, this was amazing.
They instruct you to pass an ice cube around the dripping to let the fat coagulate so you can easily spoon it out.
That's a brilliant, simple, and incredibly effective technique. The concentrated cold from the ice instantly firms up the floating fat without cooling down the entire liquid base, which makes separation just effortless. That nugget alone is worth the price of admission for this deep dive.
It truly is. ###taxis. Creative uses for turkey leftovers. So the holiday meal generates this inevitable bounty of leftovers, and this compendium provides 5 unique strategies for reinvention, moving the flavor profile far away from that initial roast dinner.
We have the simple, rustic comfort of soup first.
Right.
And we're offered 2 variations, alphabet turkey soup and the homemade turkey soup.
The alphabet soup is slightly more complex. It's using 2 cups of cubed turkey, stock, canned tomatoes, Italian seasoning, onion, carrots, and thinly sliced cabbage, all finished with that familiar alphabet pasta.
The canned tomatoes and Italian seasoning give it a quick, robust, slightly acidic Italian-American flavor base, don't they?
Instantly. The homemade soup is the simpler, more rustic route. Just stock, cubed turkey, potatoes, onion, celery, carrots, and uncooked noodles. It relies entirely on the quality of your turkey stock for its flavor foundation. It's a true peasant soup approach.
For those seeking some creamy nostalgia, we turn to cream turkey. This is a classic white sauce preparation.
It's pure comfort food. It combines diced boiled turkey, sliced mushrooms, diced pimiento, celery-flavored salt, milk, and hot turkey broth, all thickened with a butter and flour roux. Designed for serving over toast or biscuits.
But if you need an immediate flavor palette cleanser from the traditional sage and thyme, this next dish yanks the turkey right out of the New England kitchen and sets it down firmly on the subcontinent, the curried turkey dinner.
This is such a bold flavor pivot. It's a casserole that layers cooked broccoli spears and cubed boiled turkey under a sauce made from cream of mushroom soup, mayonnaise, lemon-flavored juice, and the essential ingredient, a generous dose of curry powder.
And topped with seasoned croutons and baked.
The combination of the acid from the lemon, the fat from the mayo and soup, and the earthy complexity of the curry powder, it completely masks that leftover flavor and provides a whole new, warm, savory profile. It shows real ingenuity in repurposing staples.
Moving to the spicy, savory category, we have 2 excellent options for some global heat. The green chili turkey enchiladas use 2 cups of cooked turkey and focus on that southwestern richness.
The sauce is built on a really rich base of milk, flour, dried mustard, and Monterey Jack cheese, with green chilies playing a dual role. They're integrated into both the sauce and the filling.
The dried mustard is an interesting addition.
I thought so too. It provides a subtle, pungent tang that really cuts through the richness of all that melted cheese. It balances it out.
Then there is the bold, vinegary tang of the Kentucky BBQ turkey sandwich. This uses grilled turkey cut into cubes, simmered in a potent, classic, sweet and sour BBQ sauce.
The sauce recipe itself is worth noting. Tomato ketchup provides the body and sweetness, but it's balanced so intensely by white vinegar, Worcestershire, and hot pepper sauce, with added lemon pieces for that fresh acidity.
So you simmer until the sauce reduces and clings to the turkey cubes.
And it turns the leftovers into a perfect tangy filling for toasted burger buns. The strategic use of vinegar and hot sauce ensures this dish has enough sharpness to cut through the heavy, lingering flavors of the previous day's feast.
Okay, moving on to the side dishes. This is where the true strategic decisions are made, I think. This often determines the labor allocation for the entire day. And we're going to begin with the sacred stuffings and dressings, where the sources give us 6 radically different approaches. #, A stuffings and dressings.
These 6 stuffing recipes can really be segmented into categories based on their textural goal and their primary flavor accent.
Let's start with the bright and unexpected. The cranberry tangerine stuffing is a textural hybrid. It combines a standard herb-seasoned stuffing mix with the earthiness of cooked wild rice.
But the real insight there is the citrus choice. It uses peeled, sectioned, and chopped tangerines, along with cranberries, poultry seasoning, and chicken broth.
Not oranges, but tangerines.
Exactly. Tangerines offer a sweeter, less aggressively acidic citrus note compared to oranges or lemons, which makes it a gentler complement to the savory poultry seasoning and the complex texture of that wild rice.
For those prioritizing speed and maximizing efficiency, the green onion and cornbread stuffing is the perfect blueprint.
It is. It uses a cornbread stuffing mix combined with a major shortcut. French onion, condensed soup and water as the liquid base, alongside margarine, celery, and green onions.
The French onion soup is a huge hack.
It's an effective flavor hack. It instantly delivers that rich, deep onion flavor and seasoning that would otherwise require hours of slow caramelization and homemade stock reduction.
Now, for sheer, dense, savory richness, you turn to the Minnesota wild rice dressing. This is a meat-heavy dressing that functions almost as a main course itself.
Oh, absolutely. It features cooked wild rice, bulk breakfast sausage, bacon, mushrooms, onion, celery, and breadcrumbs seasoned with oregano and sage.
The textural contrast there must be incredible.
It is. Between the chewy wild rice and the crumbled breakfast sausage, enhanced by all that bacon fat, it's incredibly hearty. It requires a dedicated pan bake to achieve that rich crust.
Okay, moving to the traditionalists, we have 2 historic bread-based stuffings, which also carry some critical embedded instructions about food safety.
Yes, the old-fashioned bread stuffing is the foundation. It requires white bread to be broken into 1-inch squares and dried overnight.
Which is a crucial step.
Crucial. It prevents the stuffing from turning into a gummy paste when you add the liquid. And the liquid base is classically derived from giblet water broth, from boiled giblets, and optional chicken broth.
The inclusion of ingredients like sautéed celery, onion, and sage is pretty standard, but the specific note on optional mushrooms and oysters is key. It says if you omit the oysters, you bake the mixture inside the turkey cavity.
Right, but if oysters are included, it must be baked separately. And this is a traditional food safety instruction, recognizing that the internal temperature required to safely cook oysters, which are highly perishable, might overcook the turkey breast. This detail reveals a deep historical understanding of balancing flavor and safety.
Which leads us directly to the oyster dressing, a truly dedicated traditional preparation.
This recipe focuses entirely on that sea flavor, using raw, chopped oysters, dry breadcrumbs, celery, onion, parsley, and poultry seasoning. And the crucial liquid is the oyster liquor, with milk added only if needed for moisture.
This is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward flavor profile.
It is, and it's intended to be prepared and used immediately to stuff a 10 to 12-pound turkey.
Finally, the sausage, apple, and dried cranberry stuffing offers what seems like the most complex, balanced flavor profile by incorporating savory depth, sweetness, and textural contrast.
It does. It uses bulk sausage, toasted cubes of whole wheat and white bread, and the defining rich ingredient, diced cooked chicken liver.
Chicken liver, that's a bold choice.
It is, but it provides an intense, earthy, almost metallic savory depth, which is then brilliantly contrasted by the acidity and sweetness of the dried cranberries and chopped golden delicious apple. It's a beautifully balanced dressing, moistened with turkey stock and melted butter. ###B. Potato dishes, classic, cheesy, and unique.
Potatoes, the essential starchy canvas. And these 4 recipes show how they can be engineered for maximum creaminess, time efficiency, or elevated savory flavor.
The primary challenge of holiday potatoes is always maintaining warmth and texture, and of course, managing your oven space. The crock-pot scalloped potatoes solves the oven problem immediately.
This is a multi-cheese, slow-cooked approach. It achieves guaranteed silkiness through the use of processed ingredients. Sliced potatoes layered with condensed cheddar cheese soup, chunked Velveeta, grated sharp cheddar, and evaporated filled milk.
The inclusion of a processed cheese like Velveeta is a strategic choice. I mean, while it may not satisfy the purist, Velveeta contains emulsifying salts that prevent the cheese from separating or seizing.
So it guarantees a consistent, ultra-smooth texture over the entire 6 hours of cooking.
Exactly. It is structurally engineered for long-duration holding.
And solving the timing problem is the day before mashed potatoes. This is the secret to a stress-free Thanksgiving day.
It is. This recipe relies on high-fat dairy stabilizers. Boiled potatoes are mashed with a foundational blend of cream cheese, sour cream, butter, onion powder, salt, and pepper.
So the cream cheese and sour cream provide the structure.
The necessary structural fat. It holds the potatoes together and prevents them from breaking down or weeping moisture after an overnight refrigeration.
And then they can just be baked for 30 minutes at 350, coming out hot and creamy, having taken up zero time on the day of the feast. That's a crucial piece of knowledge for large-scale entertaining.
For sure. Now, for sheer unapologetic indulgence, we have the holiday potato casserole. This is maximalist cooking.
It is essentially a compound potato cheesecake. Mashed potatoes are blended with a full cup of butter, a generous amount of cream cheese, cheddar, and Parmesan.
But the texture and flavor complexity are boosted by adding chopped green bell pepper, scallions, pimiento, and milk. It's baked until bubbly with a brown cheese topping. The combination of 3 different cheeses and massive amounts of fat ensures a dense, deeply savory result.
Finally, for a complex, savory elevation, we analyze the roast garlic mashed potatoes. This demands a preparatory infusion step.
This is where we move into true gourmet preparation. It requires slowly simmering 10 garlic cloves in a full cup of olive oil for 30 to 40 minutes until they're completely soft.
This process creates garlic confit, doesn't it?
It does. It softens the flavor of the garlic from that pungent heat to a deep, nutty sweetness. The pureed confit garlic is then mixed into hot, mashed, baked russet potatoes, along with heavy cream, butter, and a blend of 2 intensely flavored Italian cheeses, grated Parmigiano Reggiano and Asiago.
And the final note to save the leftover garlic-infused oil is key.
It is. It's a bonus, high-quality flavored fat that you can use immediately in, say, the Greek salad dressing or other vinaigrettes. ###see sweet potatoes and root vegetables.
Okay, moving from the starchy white potatoes to the autumnal palette of sweet potatoes and root vegetables, the focus seems to shift to maximizing natural sweetness by contrasting it with tartness and powerful aromatics.
Absolutely. The butternut squash, with apples and maple syrup, provides a beautiful balance. It requires pre-cooking the squash briefly in salted water to ensure you get a tender interior texture before you bake it.
It combines the squash with tart Granny Smith apples and dried currants, and it's unified by a glaze of pure maple syrup, melted butter, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and nutmeg.
The key insight there is the tartness of the Granny Smith apples and the lemon juice. Without that acid, the dish would be overwhelmingly sweet. The acid cuts the maple richness and really enhances the overall complexity.
Now, for the dish that requires a strong flavor warning, the fruited sweet potatoes, this is aggressive flavor engineering.
It really is. It calls for mashed sweet potatoes blended with a truly unique combination. Bourbon, crushed pineapple, golden raisins, brown sugar, shredded coconut, chopped walnuts, pumpkin pie spice, and salt. The bourbon is a game changer. It injects this deep, warming, slightly smoky note that transforms the mashed sweet potato base, pulling it away from the expected marshmallow-topped sweetness. And the tropical elements, the pineapple and coconut, introduce an almost jarring but exciting textural and flavor departure. It really challenges the traditional concept of a side dish.
For the more straightforward root options, we see methods that focus on minimal intervention. The mashed sweet potatoes are simple: butter, milk, brown sugar, and ground cinnamon.
And the mashed turnips with nutmeg showcases how slow, gentle cooking can elevate an often overlooked root. Peeled and sliced turnips are baked, covered for an hour with butter, salt, and pepper at 325, allowing the natural sugars to concentrate before they're coarsely mashed and stirred with ground nutmeg.
The slow bake is what maximizes the turnip's inherent sweetness.
Right. And finally, we have the caramelization champion, roasted parsnips with thyme. This uses high heat and a multi-layered glaze.
The precision here starts with the cutting. Thick parsnips into quarters, medium into halves, thin ones left whole. It's all to ensure every piece finishes cooking at the same time.
And they're coated in melted butter, dark brown sugar, and balsamic vinegar.
The balsamic vinegar is essential here, isn't it?
It's everything. Its acidity helps break down the outer layer of the parsnip, and its deep, complex flavor caramelizes beautifully under that 425-degree high heat, creating that sticky, sweet and sour glaze.
And adding the fresh, coarsely chopped thyme halfway through ensures the herbaceous flavor doesn't burn off.
Providing a necessary earthy contrast to all that intense sweetness. #G-corn, onion, and other green sides. This next section really reveals the heart of classic comfort food. It often relies on canned staples for texture and speed, and it highlights that mid-century influence on holiday cooking.
The casseroles are definitionally simple and satisfying. The broccoli casserole uses minute rice, frozen broccoli, cream of mushroom soup, sautéed onions, and a pasteurized processed cheese sauce.
The combination of minute rice and condensed soup is the ultimate convenience model. It's a one-pot assembly that requires minimal technique. Similarly, the cheddar corn casserole utilizes creamed corn, yellow cornmeal, sour cream, eggs, and grated cheddar.
The insight here, though, is the visual element. It calls for sautéing onion, green bell pepper, and red bell pepper in melted butter before mixing it in.
Right. The addition of the tricolor peppers adds this great visual contrast and a fresh, crunchy texture to the otherwise dense and creamy corn base.
And the corn pudding is the simplest expression of corn flavor. Whole kernel corn, creamed corn, sour cream, softened margarine, and dry cornbread mix. Bakes for 45 minutes into a light, fluffy, straightforward side.
The onions are treated with equal intensity in two contrasting dishes. The creamed onions are a classic French-style side.
Small white onions are boiled, and a critical step is reserving half a cup of that boiling liquid.
Yes, a classic white sauce bechamel is made with butter, flour, milk, and that reserved onion liquid. Incorporating the onion liquid ensures the sauce itself is seasoned and flavored by the onions. It's finished under a broiler with dry breadcrumbs to get that essential crunchy crust.
Contrast that creamy depth with the bright, sharp flavor of the pearl onions glazed with mustard and brown sugar.
So good. Frozen, thawed, small onions are sautéed in butter until lightly browned, which brings out their sweetness. They are then finished with a powerful glaze, light brown sugar, and Dijon mustard.
Dijon's sharp acidic kick must be key.
It prevents the brown sugar from being too dominant, creating this marvelous, savory, sweet glaze finished with fresh minced parsley for brightness.
And finally, the green counterpoints to all this richness. The lemon garlic steamed broccoli is pure palate cleansing.
It is. The florets are steamed just until tender firm, that al dente texture is crucial, and then quickly sautéed with olive oil, finely chopped garlic, and freshly squeezed lemon juice. It's a simple, high-impact combination of fresh acid and savory aromatics designed to cut through the heavy fats of the meal.
And we have to talk about the icon of the American holiday table, the green bean casserole. This recipe is traditional but contains a crucial time management instruction.
It does. It's the classic mix. Cream of mushroom soup, milk, pepper, cooked green beans, and fried onions. The key detail is the layering and timing. It bakes for 25 minutes, but the final third of the fried onions are sprinkled on top only for the last 5 minutes.
Which ensures those onions stay perfectly crisp and golden.
Maximizing that textural crunch against the soft, creamy interior, it's a small detail that makes all the difference. Hashtag e-salads, conventional and unconventional. So even with the sheer volume of heavy food, the source materials insist on balancing the meal with various salads, some traditional, some surprisingly robust.
The classic representation of a holiday salad has to be the ambrosia salad. This is the quintessential sweet fluff of retro Americana.
It really is. It's a fruit salad consisting of mixed fruit cocktail, mandarin oranges, pineapple tidbits, halved maraschino cherries, miniature marshmallows, and red grapes, all bound together with sour cream and served on iceberg lettuce.
The sour cream is essential, isn't it?
It is. It provides a necessary subtle tang of lactic acid that prevents the entire dish from being pure canned syrup and sugar. It offers a small moment of balance.
If the goal is a true palate cleanser, the Greek salad provides that necessary sharp acidity and freshness.
Absolutely. This uses a mix of iceberg and romaine lettuce, plum tomatoes, radishes, Greek or black olives, feta cheese, and anchovies. The dressing is a sharp vinaigrette of olive oil, lemon juice, finely chopped garlic, oregano, salt, and pepper. It's designed to be robust. The garlic and oregano are powerful aromatics needed to stand up against the complexity of the main meal flavors.
Then we have this intriguing hybrid, the mandarin orange salad. This is a green salad, Boston lettuce, Vidalia onion, fresh mushrooms, with a highly customized, creamy, spicy dressing.
The dressing is where all the personality lies. It's a mix of sour cream, mayonnaise, milk, minced garlic, Worcestershire, sugar, white pepper, and a kick of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne again.
That creamy base is so complexly seasoned. You're using the Worcestershire for umami depth and the cayenne for a subtle, lingering warmth. It pairs the sweet and sour oranges with a creamy, lingering heat.
And finally, the ultimate outlier in the entire compendium, the Pueblo pie. It's listed among the sides, but it's a complex, hearty, regional main course replacement.
This is a total culinary curveball. It reveals a southwestern influence that stands completely apart from the rest of the menu. The base is a savory, sautéed vegetable mixture: garlic, onion, bell pepper, and jalapeno combined with tomato sauce, black beans, corn, chili powder, cumin, cayenne, and sea salt, all topped with shredded mozzarella.
It's rich, earthy, and spicy, But the structural complexity comes from the top crust. It's a separate cornmeal pudding made with water, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and salt, boiled until it's thick.
And that pudding is then spread over the filling and baked.
So that cornmeal layer is technically sophisticated.
It is. It ensures a dense, satisfying top that bakes into a firm crust, containing that rich, spicy filling beneath. It creates a completely contrasting, standalone culinary experience, and it raises an essential question. Is the goal of a side dish to complement the turkey, or, as we see here, to create an entirely different rival centerpiece?
That's a great question. We have reached the final stage of the feast, the desserts. And this section, I think, really underscores the true strategic labor of the holiday meal, as so many of these recipes demand multi-day preparation and careful temperature control. Hashtag pies and cheesecakes.
We start with the classic of the genre, the pecan pie. This recipe provides a detailed roadmap for achieving that perfect sticky texture.
It begins with a homemade crust. Flour, sugar, salt, chilled shortening, butter, and water. And the key instruction is chilling the disc of dough for an hour before rolling it out, which ensures the fat stays cold for flakiness.
The filling is standard, but it requires precise baking. It uses eggs, light corn syrup, white sugar, vanilla extract, melted butter, and chopped pecans. The lengthy bake time, an hour and 15 minutes at 350, is crucial to allow the custard base to set without burning the top layer of pecans.
Moving to the festive hybrid, the pumpkin cheesecake. This combines the richness of a baked cheesecake with the flavor profile of a classic holiday pie.
And the crust offers flexibility. It allows the cook to choose between graham, vanilla, or ginger snap crackers.
Oh, ginger snap would be perfect.
It would. It provides a spicy, earthy base that complements the pumpkin filling beautifully.
The filling is dense. Cream cheese, white and brown sugar, canned pumpkin, vanilla, eggs, and a concentrated blend of cinnamon, ginger, and cloves. But the technique here is defining. It has to be baked for a minimum of an hour and a half at 325. And this is the non-negotiable instruction chilled overnight.
That overnight chilling is absolutely essential for two technical reasons. First, it allows the structure created by the eggs to fully stabilize, which prevents cracking.
Right.
Second, and maybe more importantly, it allows the cream cheese and pumpkin mixture to fully relax and set, achieving that dense, smooth texture that's characteristic of a quality cheesecake. Without the overnight chill, the cheesecake just remains gooey and unstable.
Now, for what has to be the most demanding culinary project in the entire compendium, the mincemeat pie. This is a labor of love that is fundamentally a multi-day aging process.
You are absolutely right. The commitment begins with the mincemeat filling, which is made first and then must chill for a minimum of a day up to a week. The filling is complex, utilizing a massive range of dried fruits, pears, apples, apricots, peaches, prunes, figs, dates, and dried cranberries.
And this fruit mixture is cooked low and slow with white sugar, powerful spices, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and salt water, a cornstarch slurry for thickness, and brandy.
And that multi-day chill isn't optional. It allows for the complex process of esterification. The brandy and spices have to meld with the dried fruit acids and sugars, chemically reacting over time to create that signature, rich, aged, deeply satisfying flavor profile that mincemeat requires. This is a commitment to flavor development.
The finished product requires a 2-recipe pastry dough for structural integrity and a specific finishing technique. An egg yolk and water wash, sprinkled with sugar and poked with holes before baking.
And those holes are key. They allow steam to escape without cracking the crust, maintaining a beautiful visual.
And the complexity doesn't stop there. The ultimate combination of structure and indulgence is the pumpkin pecan pie with whiskey butter sauce. This is 3 distinct recipes layered into one.
It's an undertaking. First, you have the pumpkin filling. Second, the pecan syrup.
And the structure is demanding. The chilled pie crust is layered with the denser pumpkin filling first, and then it's topped with the lighter pecan syrup.
And the bake requires a long, slow time, 1 hour and 45 minutes at 325, to ensure both the dense bottom pumpkin layer and the gooey top pecan syrup set properly.
And then the true sign of dedication, the whiskey butter sauce. This isn't just a pour-over, it's a technical pastry sauce.
It is. It uses a bain-marie, a double boiler, to gently melt butter, which is then combined with a mixture of beaten egg and sugar. Hot water is added and stirred vigorously over low heat for about 7 minutes until it's thick.
Which is a process akin to making a French the baglione.
It is. The low indirect heat ensures the egg thickens without scrambling. Once it's cooled, it's mixed with heavy cream and bourbon whiskey, providing a smooth, spiked, creamy finish. Hashtag B. Other sweet treats.
If the pies are too rustic for you, The collection provides options for high-end elegance and traditional heavy comfort.
The fruit salad with champagne sauce is pure elegance. It's a presentation of fresh, high-quality fruit kiwi, figs, grapes, strawberries, raspberries, all arranged precisely.
The sauce is the key here. A Zabbaglione-style mixture using egg yolks, granulated sugar, and champagne. And the technical requirement is to beat this continuously over low heat until it achieves a light, foamy consistency.
The champagne provides the necessary acidity and delicate flavor, creating this light, ethereal custard.
And the dramatic finish is the serving method. The sauce is poured over the arranged food and quickly browned under a broiler before serving immediately.
That brief exposure to high heat caramelizes the top of the sauce, adding a crunchy crust to that light, foamy base. It's spectacular.
And finally, the historical anchor of the dessert section, Indian pudding with nutmeg ice cream. This dessert contrasts hot and cold, heavy and light.
The nutmeg ice cream is a simple customization, blending standard vanilla ice cream or frozen yogurt with a full teaspoon and a half of ground nutmeg, then refreezing it.
This guarantees a powerful, warm spice note that will contrast beautifully with the temperature.
The pudding itself is a heavy, warm, spiced baked dish. It's made from yellow cornmeal, whole milk, butter, salt, eggs, and sweetened with a blend of mild-flavored molasses, white sugar, and golden brown sugar, plus ginger and cinnamon.
And raisins are mixed in.
The use of cornmeal and molasses gives it that distinct, dense, rustic texture and that deep, earthy sweetness. Crucially, the final mixture is baked in a water bath, a roasting pan filled with boiling water, for an hour and a half at 300 degrees.
The water bath ensures that the pudding cooks gently and evenly.
Right. It prevents the cornmeal base from drying out or burning while allowing the complex flavors to meld. And serving that warm, spiced, molasses-heavy pudding topped with cold, extra-spiced ice cream is just a perfect textural and thermal contrast. Hashtag tag tag outro. So what this deep dive reveals, really, is that the ultimate holiday meal is this deliberate, highly strategic combination of efficiency and indulgence. We moved through 5 turkey preparations, each relying on a specific priority, whether it was the high moisture of the home-style steam bath, the aromatic infusion of the herbal rub, or the complex, deep color achieved by the port basting.
And the sides demonstrate the immense flexibility available to the cook. We saw clear culinary trends, the strategic use of high-fat dairy stabilizers like cream cheese and Velveeta to engineer make-it success in the potato dishes.
Right. And the use of powerful global spices like cayenne and curry to reinvent leftovers.
And the absolute necessity of sharp acid, whether it was balsamic in the parsnips or lemon in the turkey clays, to cut through the meal's overwhelming richness.
And the desserts just underscore the commitment. They were structured as multi-stage projects, requiring techniques like esterification for the mincemeat, that continuous stirring for the Zabbaglione-style champagne sauce, and the architectural requirement of the 3-layer pumpkin pecan pie.
So the core takeaway for you, the learner, is to recognize the blueprint you're following. Are you prioritizing speed with the efficiency of the French onion soup stuffing and the guilt-free gravy?
Or are you dedicating yourself to the full, rich, time-honored techniques of a giblet broth and that multi-day mincemeat chill?
The decision isn't about better or worse. It's about choosing your flavor strategy and allocating your time budget accordingly. This compendium proves that every element of the holiday meal, even the simplest side, can be executed with technical intent.
It really can.
It raises a profound final question, though, especially when you consider the complexity of dishes like the mincemeat pie, which ages for a week, or the pumpkin cheesecake that has to chill overnight. We've covered 50 distinct, frequently high-labor preparations.
So much work.
How much of the modern holiday cooking experience is about the planning, the labor of love, and the time commitment itself? That intentional act of engineering a complex, memorable, multi-course event versus just the consumption of the food when the clock strikes 6.
Is the immense preparation, the careful choreography of 3 separate dessert components, and the necessity of overnight chilling. Is that the true secret ingredient that makes the entire holiday feast memorable? It's a question of whether the complexity is the flavor we truly savor. Something to mull over as you enjoy your perfectly structured, slow-cooked day before mashed potatoes.